Welcome to Madison City Channel's Know Your Candidate interviews, co-sponsored by the League of Women Voters, Dane County. I'm your interviewer, Shell Gross, and I would like to introduce John Wollaeger, running for Dane County Supervisor in District 9. As we begin, I'd like you to give an opening statement as to the educational, vocational, and civic experience you have which qualifies you for this office and why you are running for the Dane County Board.
All right, thank you for the opportunity. I am an orthopedic surgeon by training, so educationally, I have a medical degree, which I got at the University of California in Los Angeles. I then moved to Madison for my residency in 1995, and I have been in Dane County since then. I've worked several different positions, the most significant being an associate professor of orthopedics at the University of Wisconsin here in Madison. I retired from that job 1 year ago. I continue to work at the VA hospital as the chief of orthopedics, as well as at Sauk Prairie Hospital. That's my educational and vocational background. In terms of civic duty, I haven't really been involved in civic activities before. I have been involved in a lot of committee and leadership work in my profession, but this is a new endeavor for me to be involved this way. So I don't have a specific qualification in terms of coming up through the ranks of politics, but I do feel like I have a good understanding of problem solving, being able to work with other people to come up with solutions. And so I think I'm qualified on that in that sense. I want to do this because I've lived in Dane County for almost 30 years now. I think it's a great place to live. I want it to stay that way. My kids are all out of the house now, and I have time, and I can give back to the community through this involvement.
Thank you. What do you view as the most significant budget issues facing the board, and how would you propose addressing them?
So one of the issues that Dane County currently has a debt level of almost $500 million. And as debt servicing has become significantly more expensive over the last year and a half with the rise in interest rates. And I'm worried about our ability to maintain that kind of debt load. And I think that we need to spend money. There are plenty of things that we need to do as a county that cost money. And I think just being very responsible in how we spend our money so that we can avoid going further into debt is really a critical thing going forward.
Thank you. What do you see as the next right steps for the county to take in addressing mental illness and substance use disorders to divert people from the criminal justice system?
That's a big topic. I think you need to divide the problems up a little bit. I mean, there's mental illness is a wide range of things. As a physician, I can kind of define them differently, but there are truly people who need significant help, the people with schizophrenia, bipolar disease. I think that we need a way to provide services for them as well as house them, but in a separate facility than, say, and keep them out of the prison system, but have a place for them that protects them from getting themselves in trouble, basically. Same for substance abuse. And there's obviously a crossover between the mental illness and the substance abuse. And so that's going to be a part of that as well. But I think it's real important to have a strong treatment programs for substance abuse. And they need to be fairly strict in terms of trying to get people off of drugs. There's a strong program in Providence, Rhode Island, where they were able to really give people a choice, between jail and treatment. And they were pretty harsh about it, but it works. It got a lot of people off drugs and back into the community. And I think looking at that program like that would be very, very powerful.
How would you evaluate the county's current efforts to address homelessness? And are there any additional steps you believe the county should take to address this issue?
I'll be honest, I don't have a great understanding of what the county is doing right now to address homelessness. So I can't comment necessarily on what they've been doing. I think that, again, this crosses over a bit with what we were just speaking about. When you have people with mental illness and substance abuse, you need to provide a place for them to be safe so that they can get treated. And so I think that providing a location for that is in critical importance. In terms of homelessness because of the inability to afford housing, which maybe is a different topic, but another issue, I'm concerned about government getting involved too much in housing. It tends to create distortions in the market and problems with costs, some like Tree Lane being a good example. So I'm not a big fan of the government being involved in housing projects. We can control zoning and taxes. And so I think we need to look at those things that we can control to make housing, to keep costs of housing down.
Thank you. Concerns continue about noise abatement related to the presence of F-35 jets and PFAS pollution at the airport. What would you seek to do about these concerns if elected? In terms of the PFAS contamination, I know that it exists. I know that the FAA has now ruled that you do not have to use PFAS containing fire retardant chemicals for firefighting. So obviously a switch to something like that to prevent further contamination is critical. In terms of cleanup, I know that I don't know the details, but I know that there are funding programs that are there to do for that, sort of through the Superfund type programs. And so we need to work through those to try to clean up what we can, and then try to avoid future contamination. As far as the noise abatement, I think we have to have a place for our military to have their planes. And so we can complain and say, not in my backyard, but I don't think that's a very, not very patriotic. I think we need to all accept that having some level of military is important. And so they ought to be somewhere. So I don't have a problem with them being here. Thank you. What else, if anything, should Dane County be doing to address health disparities?
Well, I've been practicing medicine in Dane County for, 29 years, and I take care of everybody. I don't have, so personally, it's not, I don't see an issue with getting taken care of, because we do provide care to everyone. or at least everyone I saw who required care, got care. I think that there are probably issues with access because I'm only speaking about the people I actually saw. So clearly there are people who didn't get to me that I perhaps couldn't care for. But in general, I feel like the medical system here takes care of everybody who needs care.
Thank you. Please tell us about other priorities for the residents of your district that we have not yet addressed and how you would propose addressing them.
So I think that, I mean, one of the things I think I worry about is just the cost of housing, and the property taxes is part of that. And that's something that we can influence. And I think that trying to we can't continue to have, double-digit property tax increases year over year. So trying to get a handle on that, I think, is important, not just for my district, but every district, but clearly that's a priority for me.
Thank you. What would you like to say to the viewing audience as we complete this interview?
I come at this endeavor to be on the Dane County Board out of an effort to really give back and maintain our community to be as great as it has been for the last 30 years that I've lived here. I am a problem solver by nature, and I want to do what's best for everyone. That's the way, as a physician, I've always treated every person with respect, dignity, and doing the best I can for them. And I would carry that over into my role as a supervisor to do absolutely the best that I can for as many people as possible. And that I hope people will take a look at that as an opportunity for just getting another voice on the Dane County Board.
I would like to thank John for speaking with us and thank the viewing audience for taking the time to know your candidates. I want to remind everyone that the general election is Tuesday, April 2nd. Every election is important. Please vote. On behalf of Madison's City Channel and the League of Women Voters of Dane County, I thank you for joining us.